Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about the dangers of buying used instruments. Stick around and find out. Hi everyone, my name is Andrew King. We're at Alamo Music. Please be sure to visit us at alamomusic.com and subscribe and hit that little bell icon to see any other content that we might be putting out in the future. Today we're going to be talking about used instruments, and in particular we're going to be talking about purchasing used instruments. There's a ton of different kind of caveats and hoops that you got to kind of go through if you're looking for that perfect instrument for you or your student. One of the major things I want to make sure that I reiterate over and over again is going to be checking out the brand. There's a tons of different brands out there from tons of different eras, and it's super important for you and your student to understand that there's certain qualities of an instrument that will last you a lifetime or even just 2 months if you get it the wrong one. What I highly recommend is checking out your local music stores, say like us at alamomusic.com. We will have tons of different brands on there that are all highly recommended by your local band directors, used by local doctorates, local professors and everything like that. That are great to look into as far as a used instrument. The other thing to look into is going to be the price point. Now, one of the major things to remember is that these are used instruments, so they've been used over a long period of time or a short period of time by different people. So if you see, say, like that perfect clarinet, like a Buffet or a Yamaha or a Selmer, sometimes those instruments will be priced at a point where they didn't really think about putting in the repair costs that might be needed at the end of it. Say you bought it on eBay where you have to have the instrument shipped to you. One of the things that you might have to look into is getting the instrument fixed afterwards. I highly recommend calling around to your local music shops. They can at least give you the price on, say, an overhaul at the worst case scenario, or you can have someone meet you, say you've got it on Facebook Marketplace. I highly recommend meeting someone at a local music store and having it inspected by a local repairman to see if the instrument's worth the purchase and your money, basically. The other thing to look out for is definitely going in that vein is the quality of the instrument. A lot of these instruments are going to be from different eras and years over a long period of time. So I really recommend looking into when these instruments were made, checking out the serial number on it, looking it up, just making sure that they were made relatively recently. There are a lot of great instruments like this one, the Mark VI, that have been preserved really well or play over really well over a large period of time. But there's going to be a lot of student model instruments from back then that will be kind of at a lesser quality now than when they were made back then. And a lot of the time, a lot of these instruments are going to be kept in poor storage situations. And what ends up happening is you're going to have to foot the repair bill afterwards, and that can cost anywhere from $150, $200, all the way up to around $800 to $1,000 too. Another thing I highly recommend is checking out the accessories that you might need. A lot of these used instruments are going to have certain things missing probably, say like mouthpieces. It can be missing reeds, so make sure it comes with everything you're going to need, and if it's going to be missing something, I highly recommend looking into those purchases as well. Mouthpieces can be cleaned and other parts can be cleaned as well, but sometimes those instruments and those parts have been used for a really long time by some particularly nasty folk. I highly recommend getting new ones in that case. Other things to look out for is I highly recommend getting a picture of the serial number on the instrument. A lot of the time some of these instruments can be fake in some cases, and so it'd be really good to get a picture of it so you can compare it to other instruments in different stores, seeing to make sure that those instruments are good or not. In this case, I wanted to show you that I have this. This is a Selmer Mark VI. It was made by Selmer Paris. This particular one was made back in 1972. It's one of the last ones they made, actually. There's a ton of different examples on this that kind of show certain things to look out for. One of which is refinishing. This one in particular did not get refinished, luckily, but there's certain cases where like super professional instruments and really high dollar instruments, well, they kind of deteriorate over time. You can see overall, like say there's the scratching marks and everything like that on the instrument. Sometimes over the period of time, people will want to get it freshened up, right? The kind of a lift. They'll go and get what's called a re-lacquering process done on a saxophone or a trumpet or trombone. But I highly recommend, if you're looking for these instruments, to kind of veer away from those in most cases because the instrument can actually get really hurt from that. It's basically you're re-lacquering the instrument and can kind of mess with the tone holes if done improperly. And it kind of just makes a worse instrument, and it basically stops having the original timbre of the instrument that it had in the first place. This happens a lot with the old balanced action instruments, the Super Action 80, and the Mark VI in particular, because the instrument is just so famous, people are looking at them. A lot of professional players use them, such as Sonny Rollins, John Coltrane, and stuff like that, so I highly recommend making sure that the instrument's in proper quality, maybe seeing if someone has a video of them playing it or anything like that, and making sure that the entire instrument works top to bottom. Well, thank you for letting me ramble on about all that real quick. I do want to show you this instrument too, just to show you one of the best things you can get out there. This is the Selmer Mark VI. Well, thank you so much for listening. That's all I got on this subject. Remember, please subscribe and hit that bell icon for any future content we might be putting out. And visit us at alamomusic.com. I have this on there. We're listing this Mark VI in particular at $6,500, which is a great price for this instrument. We have tons of other professional, student, and used instruments as well. So give us a call as well. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.